Hello, Greystone. I hope you are all enjoying your summer and soaking up this last month of the slower, more relaxed rhythm and smoking hot weather. It seems like a long time ago, but you may remember we had a church conference back in June, and I presented an announcement, which I then sent out in video, summarizing the conversations that I'd been having with Sunday school classes following the March 5th sermon, in which I posed a question about our welcome and affirmation of LGBTQ plus people. Since that time, the ministerial staff and the lay leadership have been working hard to plan out our next steps. You may remember we had a lot of questions as we thought about what kind of church God is calling us to be related to welcome and affirmation of all people. And so we took those questions, and the ministerial staff, along with the feedback from lay leadership, have planned out an education series and a series of small group gatherings that we hope will enable us to navigate these questions together. So we want to update you now on our plan for this education and small group series that we hope to begin in September. It's kind of funny sometimes the things that provoke lively conversation. And as we have been working to define and describe what the series will be for us, one of the most lively points of conversation has been around, what are we going to call it? Well, we landed on the most simple answer to that question. We're going to call it what it is. We're going to describe what it is we are seeking to learn in the series. And so we've landed on the name Sexuality, Gender, and Faith. As part of this series on sexuality, gender, and faith, we are going to focus on those two opportunities that we talked about back in June. We're going to offer a once-a-month educational forum. That'll be on the second Wednesday night of every month. And then we're going to offer a once-a-month small group opportunity for all people. So these are going to begin in September. Again, the educational forum will be the second Wednesday of the month, September, October, November. We're going to take a break in December for the season of Advent and then pick back up in January and go through April with one final gathering being just a celebration of the journey, which will take place in May. So once a month education, second Wednesday night each month, except for December. And then we really encourage everyone to join a small group. And there will be more about that soon. Small groups will likely be the fourth week of the month. So that's just 2 evenings each month that we're asking you all to commit to so that we can learn deeply and grow more closely together as our church discerns how God is calling us to be in relationship with all people. So here's a bit more information about those education forums. The first education forum will be held during the Bible study hour on Heritage Sunday, September the 10th. This will be led by the staff of our church. The remainder of the education forums will occur on the second Wednesday of every month, and beginning in September and ending in May, with the exception of the month of December. Remember, we're taking a break for the season of Advent. During these education forums, we will study a different topic each month that will help us learn more about sexuality, gender, and faith. These topics will include the history of this conversation within the larger church, understanding how the church has handled issues of marriage, gender, sexuality, and faith over the breadth of our history. It will include studying difficult biblical passages surrounding this conversation, as well as the ethics and theologies and doctrines around it, and so much more. We're excited that we're going to have the opportunity throughout the year to bring in many faith leaders and teachers to lead these forums. As it stands right now, the only one led by our staff team will be that opening forum on Sunday, September the 10th. The rest are going to be led by some familiar faces and some new ones, all who are experts in this topic. Remember, we highly encourage you to attend these forums in person, but if you are absolutely unable to do so, we are going to offer recordings after the forums have taken place. Also, it's important to know that our children's minister, April, is planning children's programming for these times as well. So that's one less thing for you to worry about if you are a parent of young children. The schedule of topics and speakers is going to be released soon. We are finalizing that now, so be on the lookout for that printable calendar for each month's forum. The second component to this series is that small group opportunity. These small groups will serve as a way for you to reflect on what you are learning and hearing and feeling during the educational forums, and they will offer you a time to grow and connect with one another as you discuss and learn and wrestle with some of this stuff in a safe space. Each small group will have a facilitator and what we're calling a holy listener to help guide the group and offer some leadership and spiritual practices as well, because we know that this kind of experience is more than just an intellectual exercise, but it is a spiritual exercise as well. And so while we are learning with our minds and we are opening our hearts, we are also committing to engage in spiritual practices together. And so when you go to your small group, you're going to have a facilitator to help facilitate the conversation. You'll have a holy listener who is trained and equipped to simply listen and observe, and then when necessary or when helpful, reflect back to the group. And then you're going to be led in spiritual practices as well. The small groups will occur on the fourth week of the month, generally, beginning the week of September the 24th. Of course, there may be a time when a small group decides it's better to meet on the third week or whatever, but we'll leave that up to the small groups to manage. But as a general rule, they're going to be meeting on the fourth week of the month, beginning September the 24th. Most of these small groups are going to be held in host homes across North Raleigh, as well as one group which is going to meet at the church, and then there will be one virtual group which will meet on Zoom. Now, to make these groups possible, we need your help, and we need it soon. Attached with this video is an email sign-up form for small groups. Now, you've already filled out a form indicating your interest, but this form is actually a sign-up form. It includes all of the small group day and time offerings, and so what we are asking is for you to sign up for all of the available times when you can commit for the series. It is our intention for these small groups to be as diverse as possible in as many ways as possible, including things like age and life experience, just to name a few. We really don't want them to be a duplication of our Sunday morning Bible study classes or the groups that are already formed within the church. So we're striving to make them as diverse as possible while maintaining a sense of safety for everyone to share their stories and to share their authentic responses and wrestling as we navigate this sensitive topic together. So we're asking you to choose all of the small group times that you can commit to during the week, and then the staff is going to place each member in a small group with great intentionality and care. Now, we understand that you may only have one time slot available during the fourth week of the month, and that is okay. But if you do have multiple times during your week, that would be really helpful for us so that we can make sure we have an even distribution of people among our host homes. And though we encourage you to be open about the group that you will be placed in, we have included a question on the form. It's at the end, and that is a place for you to indicate to us if there is someone that you really need to be in a small group with. Maybe it's a spouse that you want to journey together with. Maybe it's a child. Maybe it's a caregiver. Maybe it's somebody that you need to carpool with. All of that is okay. Just write their name in the last piece on the form so that we can be aware of that as we are piecing these small groups together. Another thing is we do ask that you complete this form by August the 28th so that we can have time to place our small groups together and communicate back with everyone before the series begins on September the 10th and that Wednesday night on the 13th. We want to make sure everyone has plenty of time to get their bearings and kind of know what to expect. And then as always, y'all, we know that things happen in life. Things come our way that we don't expect. And so if at any point during the year you need to change your small group, that's okay. Just reach out to the ministerial staff team and we will be happy to place you in another group. Finally, we want you to know that our staff is putting together supplemental resources as a part of this series. We know that learning is both individual and communal, and that growth happens at many, many different times during the week, during our lives. So we want to provide you with other opportunities in addition to the Wednesday nights and the small group gatherings so that you can dig deeper into these topics and hear from other sources or discover on your own how God is speaking to you as you learn. So we will have a digital page, on our website with book recommendations, podcast episodes, videos and documentaries, spiritual formation practices, and other resources that have been helpful to us and that we hope will be helpful to you as you engage on your own time over the next year. This resource list is going to be available soon with our Education Forum calendar. Now, I know this seems like a lot, and it is. But we hope that you can commit to just 2 gatherings a month as we journey together and discover how God is leading us in this next year. We will all be challenged. We will learn new things. We will ask important questions, and we will seek clarity and understanding. Most importantly, we hope in all things, and especially in this, to learn to love a little bit more like Jesus loves, with humility, with compassion, and with wisdom. So I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time to explore this with us. Thank you for being open to the movement of the Spirit in our lives as individuals and in our life together as a church. And thank you for jumping in and beginning this journey together. God be with you.